Kaizer Chiefs play Golden Arrows in the DStv Premiership, and this is a team that has not won anything in the past 10 games. Literally, I'm not kidding. And funny enough, it's not even a matter of Arrows have not won anything in 10 games, but it's Arrows have lost their past 10 games. And the last game that they won was against, you guessed it, Kaizer Chiefs. So now this is going to be a very, very interesting match because one is asking themselves, is Arrows going to vuga with Kaizer Chiefs, or is Kaizer Chiefs going to continue basically doing what any other team has been doing to Arrows, which is basically destroy them, because they have lost to everyone. I mean, everyone. Like, it's not even funny anymore. It's just said. And now it's actually giving some other people of Kaizer Chiefs fans who are saying that, oh, listen, Umaputi Kanyeza has not won anything since he said there's nothing special about Kaizer Chiefs. But at this point, one has to ask themselves, was Umaputi Kanyeza actually right or wrong? But on top of that, is he going to now be motivated by the fact that Chiefs have actually been poor as well? Because if we can talk about Chiefs or Arrows being poor, we can also say the same with Kaizer Chiefs. They have also been poor. So now it's going to be that game of who is actually going to come out and show that they're hungry. And I would like to welcome all of you guys who are joining the stream right now. And if you're watching this afterwards, do let me know, what are your match predictions? Do you think Kaizer Chiefs will win? And in this video, we have a lot of things to talk about. We have to talk about a bit about the previous game, and we talk about this upcoming game, but also we're just going to look at the starting 11 because, surprise, surprise, Kaizer Chiefs actually, or Kevin Johnson, I should say, actually made changes in our previous game, which I will tell you, I was surprised that he actually did it, because usually he does not at all. He does not make any changes. So I was surprised in a good way when I saw that Kevin Johnson made some changes in our previous game. So that would be very interesting. I'm trying to go to the live so that I can also be able to read the comments. But Nani, while you're here, guys, can you please just let me know on the comments, wow, and how do you see the game going tomorrow? I'll be reading the comments as the live stream is going on. And yes, I know I did not tell you guys about the live today, but I had to do it today because tomorrow it's a game and we won't have a live stream because, well, I'm going to the game. I'm not boycotting it. Someone has to record content at the stadium, so that would be me. I volunteer. So starting with the comments right now before we go deep. Kalanepo is saying, Khosi for life, wish you all the best for today, and I will be happy if one day I can see Samgelo on the medal, please. You know, we're going to talk about the starting 11, but while we edit, I cannot remember for the life of me when last I actually saw Usamgelo Zwane in the field of play. Not even in the field of play. Forget the field of play. I don't remember the last time I actually saw Samgelo Zwane even, what's this thing? Even in the starting, not even in the starting 11, but actually being in a position whereby he's in the, what's this thing? The reserves even. He's not even making it to the reserves. And that's worrying to me because you're asking yourself, Uguti, how come a player who was coming along fine last season, because we saw Ugutaibo, Usamgelo Zwane is actually becoming a key member of the club, and yet all of a sudden he's being dropped like a hot potato. And that makes you question, Uguti, is Kevin Johnson actually seeing the quality that he has? Is he using it accordingly? And the answer at this point is no. Please don't forget to like the video. By the way, I will end by saying all the best for tomorrow. That's all you can wish at this point because it's not make sure. Usposet is saying Arrows losing 10 games in a row. Even if they get a point, it will be a huge point for them because they got 0 in the last games. The team will be motivated. And the other thing, Velu Guti, Arrows, the fact that they started their season so well to a point that they were the ones who were actually the closest to Sundowns at some point, that helped. You remember this is the second time we're actually seeing a PSL team do this, because you remember that even last year, what's the name of this team? I'm forgetting the name. Even why am I forgetting? Richards Bay. That's how they started their season the other year. They started the season very well, but then they ended up falling off. But their falling off was okay. No one cared, because what they ended up doing was the fact that they had collected so many points earlier on, and then later on in the season when they were dropping a lot of points, it did not really affect them that much. So, but still, they would not want to end up being drawn into that relegation thing that's going on down there. So I do think that this has been a good thing. You know what? I'm seeing something as I'm trying to set up my stream. Something is weird. Anyways, let's not talk about the weird things that are annoying me as I'm looking at at this thing. So the next comment is from Usposet, who's saying, I wonder if your coach will still use the excuse that teams, when they play against Chiefs, they double their effort and go to 5 Zangomas. You know what? I think he will. You know why I think he will? Because of the fact that we've seen this. When coaches are cornered, when coaches who don't know what they're doing are put in a position whereby they have to account, they end up just saying whatever that is going to kind of distract everyone. Because you know what's funny? The funny thing is that Uku Johnson could be saying this on purpose, not because he's making an excuse. It is an excuse, but he could also be just saying it because he wants people to focus on what he said instead of what is actually happening. And what is happening is that he's performing poorly. But if he can find something to complain about, then we'll focus on that one thing he said. And then he was going to say, guys, but I was joking. Who didn't realize that I was joking? You understand? So I think that coaches, I've seen this being done by other coaches as well. About coach like about club, they will find a way of saying, maybe it's because we played early in the day, or maybe this, or maybe that. But they will find a way of basically trying to protect themselves and their players. Sometimes some of these coaches will even will even blame the referees, and in that way people will focus on, oh yeah, the ref was crap, or this was that, or this was that. But if we're being honest, they know that the main thing that should be talked about is how poor the team was. And funny enough, ama coaches, they usually just choose to do that. So it's interesting when I see coaches do that, but it's definitely not a new thing to see coaches do that. So I do think that we're going to see the same situation as well. So the next thing then is obviously Guti. Is it possible? Is it possible that Ukavin Johnson actually believes that Amatima Tagati Chiefs? Because if it is, then we are truly in a very hopeless situation. Because if he believes that, or maybe knows that he did it when he was at Platinum Stars, then we might find a situation whereby we're saying, actually, he knows that this is the situation. He knows that it's how teams do. So then that's another problem on its own. And I do not wish to think how, because here's the thing, I watch Chiefs each and every single game, and what I see is that guy on Mancave. I know that guy. I can point him out in this thing, in a group of people who would say, okay, that guy, his job specifically at Chiefs, I always see him, and what he does and always does is simply just to go and spray whatever, or scatter whatever the Chiefs uses during matches. So I know that that's what it does. And Chiefs is even known for that. People are even saying, Chiefs are ukuthagatha because ukuthagatha kwayo kuyisiza in any case. And if the coach actually believes that's the case, then we're in a hopeless situation. Let me read some more comments. Who's posted is saying my prediction is Golden Arrows 0, Chiefs 0. It might be because you know what's funny? What's fun about this game is that each Chiefs might actually be more scared to lose to a team that has not won in 10 games, right? That has lost their last 10 games. Chiefs might not want to lose to the team. And thus, they will be extra careful. And in being extra careful, they will just defend. Arrows will also be scared to not concede or lose against Chiefs who have not been doing well. Or it could be the other way around. So Arrows could say it's Chiefs, they are bad and they are scared, let's go for them. And then they can beat Chiefs. So it's either Arrows wins or it's a draw. I fear Uguti Chiefs, they will feel like they have more to lose by losing the game. So in that way, in the mind of Kevin Johnson, he will feel like it's just much better to defend, which is what he's been doing in any case. Umpumelelo is saying as long as they have a static midfield, our midfielders don't collect the ball, our ball speed is way too slow for us to do anything. That is so true. I touched on this when I was talking about the previous game. I'm like, you know what? You know what? One of the most annoying thing when you are watching Chiefs is how slow. It's how annoyingly slow. It's how slow they build up. It's how slow it's just wow. And you're like, ah, no, this is not the one, Shem. This is definitely not the one. And they do it consistently. And you just know that we are not achieving anything here with these people. Charles Gumbi saying, kanti Mdantsane, is he still suspended? Well, there are two factors with Mdantsane, really. One, suspension, but the second one is the fact that where is he going to play? Because right now, we can clearly see within the previous game, the coach tried playing Udoli as a 10, and in that other game, he's been playing Umshini, and in other games, has played Castillo there. So Umdantsane does not seem to have a place at Kaizer Chiefs right now. So bringing him back only to sit him on the bench does not make any sense because a player who was even in better form than him is Usamgelo Zwane. I know he's not a 10, but if you're playing 2 8s, then you can play Usamgelo Zwane, play Mart, play Castillo because those are the two midfielders they prefer currently. So I do not think that Umdantsane currently has a place at Chiefs. And because of that, I don't think there will be a return of Umdantsane anytime soon, despite the fact that there was that suspension thing. Uspecifically saying we're just better last season considering the fact we had injuries and we didn't have enough players, but we managed to compete in competitions because now players are really terrible. Nothing is going well. I tweeted earlier about this whole thing, Uguti. I am saying this. Kaizer Chiefs made a mistake by firing Atazwan. They should have let him flop with the squad because last season, Chiefs, they I don't think they ever went this bad for this long. You understand? So that was my thing, Guti. Chiefs were bad towards as the season continued, but the problem is they were not this horrible. Some players were improving. Like you have Abongezana who were hated so much. Pelungezana was hated, guys. Let's be honest. Some people were surprised and actually were hoping that Ngezana doesn't make it because a lot of people were saying, "Oh no, Ungezana siyamazi thina, Ungezana uyaboza," which is just horrible for someone who supports Kaizer Chiefs to say things like that about their own player. But a lot of people wanted Ngezana to not go abroad. Ublom, same thing, also went abroad, improved under Atazwane. Sabunga Ngezana, improved under Atazwane. So then the question is, if players were improving last season, how much more would we have done with the squad that we have under Atazwane? And the answer is easy. We would have done way more. We would have done way better than what we're doing right now. But we can't keep on crying over spilled milk. Usimba is saying, but Chiefs also does the same. Umpumelelo is saying there's nothing as bad as a coach with nothing to lose. he's too relaxed for my liking. Usho, who's too relaxed for your liking? Is it Johnson or are you talking about Ukanyes? Because it feels like I do feel like Kevin, I wouldn't say Kevin has nothing to lose because I can tell you now that man wants that job. Like uyabona uKevin Johnson makhuluma ngabantu who want the job, it's him. He wants that job. He wants that job, yeah, Chiefs. And I think that he in all honesty wants to coach Kaizer Chiefs, and that is why he was giving us that speech about Dylan Shepard being helpful to him and showing us the backroom staff Uguti who's actually helping him succeed and all of that stuff. So I know for a fact Uguti, that man wants that job. He might have played it as if he doesn't care initially, but everyone has seen Uguti, that man wants that job. And because of that, I believe strongly Uguti he does have something to lose. It's just that he also doesn't want to do bad. So because of that, he's always trying to be extra careful, which has not helped him. Can we be honest about that? It has not helped him at all. And it keeps on getting worse and worse because at the end of the day, people will say, oh, we've only considered once under Johnson or whatever that they come up with about Johnson. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter whether we've considered once or twice. The point is, we've not scored a single goal this year, right? So if we have not scored a single goal this year, what does that tell you about what's currently happening in the club, right? It tells you, Guti, a lot of things are going horrible. We are not doing well at all. So we cannot say that, I know we are doing well enough. We are not. We are not. Since the year started, we've not scored. What kind of backup team is this? I mean, what kind of a big team is this, Uguti? You are going to just keep on drawing with small teams and lose to other small teams. Sposed is saying Mart, Modi, and Castillo are one yellow card away to suspension. Going to Arrow's game, will they be sacrificed for Derby or they will miss Derby just like Edmilson Dove? You know what? You know what? You are bringing up a very interesting thing. Thank you so much. You are bringing up a very interesting thing. Yabona, inkinga kaMatt will be solved very easily. Umart will not play tomorrow. We are going to talk about the starting 11 now. We should. Let's just start talking about the starting 11. So I think Vele, we are kind of sorted at the back. At the back, left back, Martian still played well. I think he will still start the game. I'm not even counting Bruce because he's going to start the game. So I think Martian will start at left back. Centre back pairing, I see the coach bringing back Unjabulo Ngobo for Dove, and I also see Msimang starting, obviously. Right back, that coach, as I said, he's still coming up with this mentality, this defensive mentality. So I think Ukwinika will still start at right back because even in the last derby, we did see that Ukwinika started that last derby. So Ukwinika will be at left back, at right back. And then if we go to midfield, since you brought up this thing, Velo, might as well attend to it. In midfield, then you'll find a situation whereby Castillo, Ulokunja, who's this one? Umart will be benched, right? He will be benched because we are trying to save him for when? For Saturday. So Umart will get benched, and I think he won't be involved in the game at all. And they will play Mtetwa, and Castillo, and the last one is Utoli. Or alternatively, what the coach could do is that he could play Mtetwa, who's not in any situation whereby he can get benched. So he can play Mtetwa, he can play Utoli, and he can play Umshin, which I don't think will happen because he can't play two attacking midfielders like that, which would bring more questions to him. One, would he consider playing Castillo because he knows that he won't, in his eyes, he doesn't need Castillo as much as he needs Mart. So he might just bench Mart and leave Castillo on with Umthetho and then play Utoli Pamwab. And then he can take out Castillo second half and bring on someone else. So that is the situation. Alternatively, Alternatively, what I would like to see, because we are preparing for the derby and we want to also see players raise their hands, you could play umthetho, angithi you are saving uMart, play umthetho, bring back uSamkelo Zwane and play uDoli in front of them. And in that way, you are saving uCastillo, you are saving uMart. You are not risking them at all. You can only bring them on if those guys, that midfield trio doesn't work, because we have not seen them play together in any case. But we know that the coach does not want to make way too many changes. But I think, personally, that midfield trio will do much better because Samkelo Zwane is good with the pass, but is also is a good carrier of the ball. So he can carry the ball, he can dribble past people. You also have Umthetho who's going to cover ground. You have Udoli who's creative. So that midfield trio can work. Rest to Matt, rest to Castillo. In fact, Umart vele, since he rates him so highly, akumele abe khona even in the match day squad. Just rest him for Saturday because he's the one that you are trusting. So put Matt aside, bring back Usamkelo Zwane, and then play those three in midfield. You can bring on Ungcobo at any other time. And then when it comes to our wings, now this is a situation that a coach should find himself with. Umodi is our top goal scorer currently. Put him on the bench. In fact, don't even put him on the bench. Sit him wherever Mark will be sitting. Don't even play him. And it is our top goal scorer. So if we get a goal somehow, he's the one who might get a goal. So don't even play him. Instead, play Dupree as a left winger because I feel like he's better cutting in than coming from that side in any case. And then through the middle, play the one, the only Uranga Chivaviro. You need him to have confidence. You need him to start playing. You need him to get more game time. And now you have a midfield that can supply balls to him. Then it's a win-win situation. And on the right wing, Upotan is still injured. You can always bring Mfundo Villagaz. He can cut into his left because playing as a 10, I don't think that he can play as a 10. If a coach also wants to do what he's been doing, can play Utoli as a right winger, play Mfundo Villagaz as a 10. But also one maturity in that midfield. You already have Samkelo Zwane, Ingan. Rather play Mfundo Villagaz out wide, play Uranga in the middle, play Dupree in the left. I think that works very, very well. I don't know what you guys think. I think Chelen starting 11 in. I think that would work. I think that would really work. That squad would compete because also you have Uranga trying to raise his hand. Fundo Villagaz is doing the same thing. Samkelo Zwane doing the same thing. Utoli an alternative. Mashiane at left back as well. So I think that works. I think that Ukwinika wouldn't play in my team. I think I would play Solomons. Or if you want to play Ukwinika so desperately, then just play him as a centre back, play Solomons as right back, take Unjabulo Ngcobo, play him as one of the defensive midfielders, and Umthetho with him because you are playing 4-2-3-1 and play Utoli in front of them. I would not prefer that. I would prefer the one system that does not have Kunika, that has Solomons, that has Msimango, that has Ngcobo, that has Mashiane, that has in midfield ubani umthethwa uSamkelo, uDoli, uDupree, Uranga, then Mfundo Villagaz. I think that one would work. Sacred Hard Melodies is saying, for the fact that Chiefs had a mini preseason during the AFCON break, what is happening really leaves much to be desired. The team looks more disjointed than it was before the Christmas break. I said this thing, and I will continue holding on to what I said. Johnson was just making excuses. If you are good, you are good. You don't need 10 weeks with the team. And it's even worse now, Uti. Now you've had time with the team and you are looking worse. How can you excuse that? It's inexcusable. That's what it is. Mr. C, Mr. C, ML is saying, Mr. CEO, where's your favorite striker, Gonzalez? I think tomorrow he can do something. And why Potsane not playing? Yeah, Ega Potsane is injured, and Ega Gonzalez, I think they've given up on him because they put him on the bench on that other game, and there are rumors that he did score during the preseason. Yet somehow we're not seeing him anymore. So it's weird to me, Wuti. And like, what happened? What happened with him? So I find it very, very, very weird. So Chiefs will see Wuti how they do tomorrow. But me personally, I'm going to the stadium. Sorry if that sounds like I'm a sellout to some of you. Someone has to record content for you to watch. after the game and go, yeah, I agree with that guy. Yeah, so I do think that Chiefs with the squad that I talked about, they can compete. But again, at the end of the day, in the past few weeks, I've not. I think against Milford, I was also in that situation where I was like, "Ish, yeah, ne." And vele, the results didn't come. Luckily for me, as a Liverpool supporter as well, Liverpool won. And then on the other hand, this past weekend, when they were playing nonsense, Liverpool won on the last minute. So that kind of uplifted my mood. You understand? So I didn't get affected that much by them losing. But this is where we're going to end the video for today. If you're watching for the first time, we are live every Tuesday and every Thursday at 7. In this video, we're live on a Monday because there's a game on Tuesday. So that's just the case. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you're expecting. Give me your starting 11 down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, remember, equals Alpelumo.